This is the 2024 Aston Martin DB12. The 2024 Aston Martin DB12 marks a new era for Aston Martin. It's actually the first car that they have produced under their new leadership, and they've done a lot of really interesting things. They've also done some things that are pretty smart. First of all, it looks like an Aston Martin DB. It has kept its iconic shape and scale. The interior is completely new, and the biggest surprise is under the hood, there is a twin-turbo V8, which actually produces a third more horsepower than the outgoing V12 at 671 horsepower. It carries an AMG engine, which is built by Mercedes-Benz, which likes to call its twin turbos bi-turbos. Even though it carries an AMG engine, everything else in this car is Aston Martin. Aston Martin does all the tuning, the suspension, they customize the engine, they customize the drive modes. Everything is bespoke Aston Martin. Aston Martin says even though this is a GT, which stands for Grand Touring, this is not actually a Grand Touring car, it is a super touring car. It is designed to be a sports car that you drive fast as you go places. Aston Martin was once considered the provenance of British royalty, and now Aston Martin is a brand that you see throughout the United States and throughout the world. The DB12 is great for both track and street driving. It has a small trunk. It actually has seating for 4. That back seat, I think, might be better off for a small dog or a bag of groceries. But if you want to take it on the track, that is where it's going to be really at home. It is designed to go around tight curves really fast, and it has customizable drive modes that will allow you even more fun on the track. The interior of the Aston Martin is classic, but a completely new design. There are 2 10-inch displays. There's a panel with lots of controls right in the center, and everything in the interior that isn't glass, gloss, or metal is leather. And the leather is made by the Bridge of Weir leather makers in England. The style of the seats are more like a bespoke handbag than they are like a sports car. There's a leather-covered steering wheel, which is flat on the bottom. That is iconic for sports cars, which makes it faster to get in and out of the car. You'll also see on the steering wheel, and attached to the wheel, are the paddle shifters, upshift and downshift here. And that is what you have to use when you put it in manual mode. The 10-inch multimedia display really brings Aston Martin into a modern era. Tap the little car icon at the top and you get drive modes. You can customize all your lights. There are climate controls here. The drive mode selector is here, and this is something that we're seeing on a lot of cars these days. BMW has something similar. So you pull it back for drive, push it forward for reverse, push the button for park, and then when you put it into drive, you can pop it in manual. So it starts up and it tells us that we are in GT mode. But if we want to dial it to a different mode, all I do is dial this ring around the start button. So the base price for the Aston Martin DB12 is $245,000. But once you start to have a little fun with the interior, with a lot of the materials and some of the customization, including this beautiful purple paint, our test model comes out at just a shade over $323,000. Aston Martin is known for its bright and very customizable paint colors, but probably the most bespoke detail, it's not unique to every customer, but it is bespoke to Aston Martin, is the badge. There's one on the front, one on the rear, one on the steering wheel, and they are handmade by a jeweler just for Aston Martin. Probably the most beloved thing about the DB11 was that V12 engine. Well, with a third more horsepower and improved driving dynamics, owners of the DB12 are not going to be disappointed.